to make the decision shouldn't be predicated on anything but what's best for your career. You do a take and you get that look from the actor. It goes straight at you. My name is Harald Ortenburger, and I was a camera operator. One of my favorite pictures is called Open Range. Before that, I worked on Titanic, but only at the modern day stuff and on the ocean in Halifax, and with James Cameron. And to survive James Cameron and actually get a handshake and everything else was a big success for anybody, and for me. And the operator, the A operator on Titanic, a guy named Jimmy Muro, he's one of the best operators. His first DP job was Open Range with Kevin Costner, a Western, and he hired me based on what I'd done on Titanic, he hired me to operate that picture, and it was just an incredible experience. You know, everything came together of having put so much energy and sacrifice into the career, and then one day you sit on that set and you think you're good fortune, and so that really was the last sort of great picture. It's luck involved because in Titanic, you know, Cameron wouldn't just hire somebody off the phone book. They did some research, and so that's how I got that job. There was no networking or anything like that. It was just I got a phone call, you want to go to Halifax? Yes, sir. So that was the lucky part, you know. Surviving that shoot, like some of my, unfortunately, people did not survive. That wasn't luck. That was just working completely on the edge. It was, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you know about him. He's like, you know, Avatar and all of these. So, and he's probably well, not just probably, for sure, the most intelligent, smart person I've ever worked with or I've ever encountered, period. He's unbelievable. So, but, you know, at the same time, he really has no time for anybody who doesn't live up to what they're supposed to be doing. He knows everyone's job on the set. It doesn't matter who it is, and the frightening part is he knows it better. You know, when I started, when I got my first picture completely out of the blue, there was no preparation in my mind, and I had a month to learn how to use a Worrell head, which is the kid head. And once I had mastered that, because I was doing it day and night, I thought, nah, I'm an operator. Which, of course, later on, that was the silliest thing I was ever thinking. It was like, that's the last component for an operator is to know the mechanics. That's, you know, if that's all they know, then they will go in a certain direction and stay there. So there's a lot more to being an operator at the level that I worked at, and it becomes like, you know, management, personality management. Manage yourself within the people that, you know, that you're going to work with, and then on the set, obviously, the specific things is, you know, everybody in this business wants to be assured of that whatever they're doing is the right thing, and so when you're on the camera, there's like, when I worked, everybody is actually looking at you because everybody's job is right where you are working. And so when they ask, specifically after a take, how was it? Well, if you have to be precise. say yes, this was good, or no, this was no good. If you leave them in between, it's not great, and it's not what they want to hear. So to really be precise on the set is basically a key issue. Everybody's personal makeup. Once you have an idea and you don't want to let go because it's your idea, and some people are more stubborn or egotistical. I don't know how to. This goes fairly deep, and if the smallest thing happens that wasn't planned or you didn't plan, you sort of start over, or you want to correct it. In the grand scheme of things, you have to really assess whether it's your ego or whether it's really necessary. And, a lot of the times you sort of have to make an adjustment and have to let go, because it's not as significant as you may think. And I only remember literally 2 or 3 occasions where I actually let go of something that was a real problem to let go, but I had to let it go. And I still remember that. I was devastated. But all the other times it literally was nobody would know except me. When you see the movie, I'm the only one who knows this did not work the way I had it planned, but nobody else does. So on the grand scheme of things, you have to, for the benefit of everybody, you have to let go. There comes a time where you're offered several jobs. You sort of have one, maybe the other one is solid, but the maybe one could really take you in a different direction. So you have to be in a position to actually turn a job down on the spec that you get the one you're actually looking at. And for that, you need to have some security. To make a decision, you have to be free of all the other circumstances. You can't, you know what I mean? The only thing that in the best circumstances is that you can make the decision only based on what's best for your career. Not, I need, I need the money, I need that, I have. That goes into a completely different, to make the decision shouldn't be predicated on anything but what's best for your career. And one of the things is it sounds crude, but save your money. On my first picture, when I got my first picture, there was the union. If you had to change your category to becoming an operator or a cameraman, same category. And if you wanted to change back to the previous category, in other words, in my case, to becoming a focus pull again, you had to be in that category for another year until you could go back. Meaning that if I get fired off the first job as an operator, I'm not going to work. I'm not going to go back. So what's the way to alleviate the pressure is that you're able to survive. I'm not going to be on the street. And that was strictly based as a financial thing. And, I made those arrangements. As it turns out, it wasn't necessary. But I didn't have that pressure, So that's really, everybody does it in a different way, but it's definitely an advice I would give. I mentioned that earlier, that was easy money. And prior to that, I was literally had 4 or 5 jobs offered. And they were all solid, like production manager calls. And then there was the possibility of doing easy money in the States, having to get into the States, and with a big-time DP, big movie, but it wasn't sure at all because I had no visa, and it was fairly complicated, and the odds were maybe 50-50 at best. And I turned down all the pictures and waited for that to come through. And the reason I could do that was because, I would have been able to wait it out. But that was really the key element. If you have the ability to pick and choose, and as it turned out, that picture came through for me. But that was sort of the one thing I really remember, which was career-changing in my case, because it got me into the States to work, and so with Rodney Dangerfield, it was pretty big at the time. Was more important was the DP he had just done a Martin Scorsese picture, and it was big time, so it was really important to hook up with him. It happens to every operator that you do a take and you get that look from the actor. It goes straight at you, and all they want to see in your face that this was great. And eventually you sort of really develop a communication where they feel they're safe, and you happen to be the one who actually sees what's happening. Nowadays it's not, obviously everybody sees what's going on, and that probably has it's not happening anymore, because when I worked, I was the only guy who saw the movie first, and so that's how it developed. But in general, it's really trying to establish a rapport with all the actors, if without interfering with the DP and the director, and it's relatively easy. Like everybody else, the actors really want to feel safe, and if sort of your confidence goes to them, that's all they want. That they know they're in good hands, at least from the camera end. I always try to establish some. I played tennis with actors. That's all I could contribute. But the moment I heard that there were tennis players, I would take them to my club and we play and all of that. That was my way of getting to be a friend on the set. Well, physically, certainly. You just at the time, I was in shape. I could do everything. Tennis, I think it was only. I don't know how that correlates. A shot that's very difficult. A shot that's very difficult in tennis, and the pressure. It's a different pressure, but still, it's an individual thing. And I don't know. Some of the shots I had to do over my career. I remember some of them that were hair-raising. If I think about them today, like they were $500,000, and if I miss it, it's down the drain. It's not on the books. It's cash. We have to do it again, and that pressure is, done a whole bunch of those, and that's really to manage your nerves that way. That's the key element. The movies I watch, the stunts are constant, and like I couldn't have done it. What I see today on film is just unbelievable, and so there's a correlation in terms of how you deal with pressure. But one is only a game, and the other one is your life. So.